Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the new Martin SN0129G. I received this watch for free, but no matter how I get a watch in on this channel, you're always going to get my honest opinion every single time. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'll be leaving a link down in the video description. That is to the official store on AliExpress. That is an affiliate link. If you use the link, you're not going to pay any extra. I just get a little bit of commission that helps keep the channel running, helps keep getting in watches like these. This watch retails for about $250 US. That's before any taxes, customs, VAT, etc. These are absolutely going to be on sale during the 11/11 sale, so the price is going to drop pretty significantly, I think. If you feel like you like these watches, I'd put them in your cart now. Check back on the 11/11 sale and purchase them then. I think the discount on this is going to be pretty good. Also, I think I remember them saying they're going to drop a code for me as well, so maybe I will put something here, hopefully. The watch comes in 6 different colorways that you can see here. They are all really nice, really bright colors as well. I think they look absolutely fantastic. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel, as is the bracelet. It has a sapphire crystal with AR coating, a screw-down crown, a screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, Swiss VGW9 on the dial and the hands, and the watch is powered by the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. So the SN0129 has to be one of San Martin's best-selling watches, and that's evident by how many different dials and versions they have of this. They have the non-GMT version like this one here. They have the GMT version. They have these with stone dials. They have them with wave dials. They have all sorts of different dials for this thing. So if you don't like these ones, go check out some of their other ones. But yeah, this one is their latest version. They've done a couple upgrades and updates on this thing, so I say we get into the full review. But before we do, doing a quick wrist check today. Not wearing a Chinese watch, but yeah, the Seiko SPB 121 Alpinist. You're probably going to see this on the wrist a lot in these the wrist checks. It is absolutely awesome. Been loving this watch. I've only had it a couple days, but absolutely fantastic. All right, let's get into dimensions. Pretty hard to measure this, but I got 39.5 millimeters, case thickness of 13.1. We've got 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 46.5, sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist, weighs 144 grams. So I think the size on this thing is great, 39.5, under 47 lug to lug. It's going to be a great size for a lot of wrists. You also have perfect articulation of the end links there, so it drops straight down. This thing's going to fit down to 6-inch wrists probably, and it'll be fine. I think it wears great on me. This is kind of like that perfect GADA size watch for me. So yeah, I do like the way that it wears. 13.2 millimeters thick with the crystal. It doesn't wear that thick. It's got a pretty thin mid case. It's got a little bit of curvature to the lugs as well. Hugs my wrist pretty nicely. I wish they could somehow slim that down just a little bit more, but it's really not that bad. But yeah, I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist. I love the way that this thing wears. I think the size is just about perfect for me. Nice thickness as well. Got some decent little turn down to those lugs too, so it hugs the wrist nicely. I just like the accented bracelet now with the polished chamfer there. I think it looks really good, and I like all the other polished aspects on this thing. And it just looks fantastic, even under this oak tree. It's not the most legible dial, I'll say that, but it's still, the crystal does a good job keeping the reflections at bay. And yeah, I just think it looks good. What do you guys think? And popping out in some more direct sunlight there, you can see, looking really good. I just love the way that this purple pops. It looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. The dial on this watch is incredible. Hopefully you guys will see that here very soon. Yeah, let's go throw this on some straps and let's get back to the review. Alright, the first strap we got for you is the cut to size FKM. Surprise, surprise. Absolutely love these straps. This one is in black. I got a couple more that I'm going to show you here next, but yeah, I think the black and the purple, kind of a no-brainer combination, and it looks good. No issues with strap clearance either, so go crazy. Got a bright combination for you guys. I know you're probably going to be watching this after Halloween, but for me, it is the 28th of October, so I'm in the Halloween spirit, purple and orange. I just had to try it. Definitely not something I would wear all the time, but yeah, you could wear it for a party or something. And the last one for you guys today on the FKM is the white with the purple. White and purple, I think, always looks really good, and this one does. It does. It looks really, really good, I think. I like it a lot. I like it more than I thought I was going to like it, and I think I actually like it more than the black. So I've been looking for an occasion to wear this white strap. I think this might be it. What do you guys think? And last up, here we are, Cincy Strap Co. SF2 nylon strap, so 2 layers underneath the watch there. Pretty thin layers, pretty thin strap. These things are awesome if you're looking for nylon straps. Yeah, go get some of these things because they're great. And I think the gray actually looks pretty darn good on the purple here. So, all right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. Yeah, let's talk about the case finishing, and as always with San Martin, you're getting an excellent case finishing. They have still some of the best case finishing I've seen at any price point. So yeah, the case finishing on this watch is fantastic. You have a radial brushing on the top surface of the bezel there. It looks excellent. It plays with the light nicely. Working our way down, you have a nice polished chamfer there on the bezel, and then a circular brushing on the bottom surface of that bezel. It looks great. The tops of the lugs have a nice vertical brushing as well, nice and satinized, consistent. You have a little polished chamfer here in between that brush surface and the lug opening. Really interesting, so you can kind of see that the lug kind of slopes back down towards the bracelet there. It's really interesting, but I think it looks good. You have a horizontal brushing on the lugs here as well, and then you have this nice big polished chamfer here running along the case there. Everything is done very nicely. The polishing is excellent. The transitions between the brushed and polished surfaces are just razor sharp, and that's what really sets San Martin apart from a lot of brands, especially at this price point. So they just do a fantastic job. Even on the bottom edge here, you got a nice undercut on the case, so it's super soft on wrist. Signed screw down crown there, nice size, plenty of grip. It doesn't protrude out past those crown guards too far. I just think it all looks really nicely done. I mean, it is really nicely done. Flipping it to the case back here, simple screw down case back, simple notches for your tool there, circular brushing, it's sterile, there's nothing on this thing, which is fine. I've got no issues with that. Like I said, the bottom of the case here, it's nicely rounded off, so I've got zero complaints with the comfort on this thing. The case back itself is nice and rounded and soft too, so it's a super comfortable watch to wear all day long. I've got no issues with the case finishing. It is super impressive for the $250 price point. All right, let's talk about the crystal. First things first, we'll test it for sapphire. Let's see, it is positive for sapphire. So we have a box dome style sapphire crystal. It's a pretty subtle box dome, but you can definitely see it is a box dome. It kind of sits up above the bezel there with a nice chamfer, so you get a little bit of distortion on the edges. The inner reflective coating on the underside of the crystal is done very nicely. It does have a slight blue hint to it, as you can kind of see right on the edge here, but it really doesn't distract at all on this one. I think it kind of adds something to this purple dial, but it's just something to note on some of the other colors. It might not look as good, but here I think it looks fantastic. The dial itself is very reflective. The indices are very reflective. The hands are also very reflective. So it's a pretty shiny watch. So the crystal does a good job of cutting down reflections. You got to know going in that this is just a very shiny looking watch. So yeah, the air coating might not look like it's working very hard, but it is working hard and it's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, I think they did a nice job on the crystal. It's a good one. All right, getting really close, we're talking about the dial. It's kind of the star of the show on this one. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's a glossy, kind of like an epoxy type surface over top of that texture. So it looks very textured, but when you get it on the sides like that, you can see that it is just a simple glossy surface. You can kind of see the automatic text is kind of sitting above the texture there. So it's just a really cool effect. I think it looks fantastic. The purple on this, just super bright, super vibrant, and it looks awesome. I don't know how often I'm going to wear a purple watch, but yeah, the fact that I have this at my disposal is awesome. I just love the purple shade that they used on it. You have a sloped chapter ring on the outside with the minute track printed on there, nice and simple. That's also glossy, matches the dial pretty much perfectly. Here it looks a little bit off, but in natural lighting and stuff, it's really unnoticeable. So very happy with that. So the dial layout, the indices, the hands, it's all very familiar to San Martin. They've been using this dial setup for quite a while. I wish they would do something a little different. You can see the flat surface that you're kind of seeing reflected here at the 12 o'clock, I wish they would brush that surface on all of these indices, and then do the same with the hands. Brush them a little bit, give some polishing to them. They're just very reflective, and they do kind of get lost from time to time, but for the most part, they look really good. They're nicely polished, though. Really nicely polished, nicely applied too. They're all aligned just to perfection. So I can't complain too much because they do look really good. I just wish they would do something a little bit different with them. Spice it up a little bit, throw some different polishing and brushing on those, and I think it would look a little bit better. The handset that they used, I like it a lot. The hour hand here touches the inside of each hour marker there. The minute hand reaches right out to the minute track. The second hand with your red tip there, you got a nice long counterbalance on it. I think it all looks pretty good. This is one time where I kind of wish they would have gone with the applied logo. Usually I'm a fan of the printed logo, but I think the applied logo would look a little bit better here. Maybe they couldn't do that just because of this dial texture. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't look bad. I just think the applied logo might look a little bit better. But yeah, automatic 100 meters down at the 6 o'clock position. Everything here looks very nice. You have a applied date window frame there as well. Again, looking really good. So yeah, not a whole lot to complain about. Even the lume on this watch is good. I'm going to pop it up against a couple other watches in the collection. You can see it's not diver good, but it's a solid like 7 out of 10, I'd say. It's BGW9, so it's the ice blue glow. It's applied pretty evenly as well. I can read it in the middle of the night, and that's really all I can ask for in a watch like this. Okay, so let's talk about the movement in this thing. So the movement inside is the Seiko NH35 automatic movement, hand winding, hacking, bidirectional winding rotor, 21,600 beats per hour, about 38 hours of power reserve, I believe. They're excellent movements. They're accurate enough. Here's how this one's been running. Sorry, I don't have a screenshot for you, but you can see 0 seconds a day. I cannot complain about that. I just took that reading. Yeah, I mean, they're super cheap. They're reliable. You can beat the heck out of them and then replace it in 10 years and it'll be fine. And the cost to replace these things is like $35. So yeah, they're great movements and I have no complaints with them at all. This one is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown, nicely signed and nicely guarded by these crown guards here. Screw in and screw out action has been perfect for me. No issues there. There's no real pop out on this one. But yeah, hand winding is nice and smooth. The date change, nice and smooth for this first position. And then the third position jumps right into hacking there. This is where you set your time. Everything is aligned nicely. Everything functions as you would expect. Starts right back up. And the screw in action picks up the threads every single time. It is one where you're winding the movement while you're screwing it in. Something to note, but it doesn't really make it any more difficult. You got a nice solid feeling on the crown as well. So yeah, overall, pretty happy with the crown, pretty happy with the movement on this thing. It's really hard to complain when you get a nice, solid running NH35. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet. So the bracelet is a little bit new for me. So it looks absolutely fantastic. I like the changes that they made, and we'll get into them right now. So it is a 20 millimeter tapering down to 16 millimeter bracelet. You have 3 solid links here. You have solid end links, female pivot end links. They drop straight down. They follow the case curvature nicely as well. They're nice and tight in there. Nice solid spring bars. The tolerances on this bracelet and the spring bar holes is excellent. So you have very little slop in the bracelet, so it feels very solid on the wrist. You have screw pins for adjusting the size on this thing. I had no issues sizing this up. So the main change that they made is to the finishing. So they have the simple brushing on this outer surface here, and then they put these nice chamfers on this top surface, this outer top surface here. I wish they kind of would have wrapped those all the way around to the bottom side. The bottom of the bracelet, it's not overly sharp, but it's also not super soft. So if they would have just wrapped that all the way around, it would have made this feel a lot more comfortable on wrist. It's not uncomfortable, but having that on the bottom side would just soften it up just that much more. The articulation of the links, excellent, no issues. It doesn't pull hair or anything like that. The finishing is just top notch as always from San Martin. I just love the way that this chamfer just kind of softens the edge and makes it just look like a little bit more refined. I think it looks fantastic. Working our way to the new on-the-fly clasp here. So we have brushing on the top a smaller logo here, tucked in between this kind of slightly raised surface there. So previously you had a nice big logo and this wasn't raised up. So I think it flows with the design of the watch much nicer. The clasp itself is thinner as well, which is nice to see. It doesn't have those screws on the side, so it looks nicer. Everything is rounded off very nicely. You got these chamfers all around. They just kind of soften this clasp. It is a really nice clasp. 2-button pushers here. They function perfect, fully milled inside as you would expect, and nice tight tolerances everywhere. So the on-the-fly adjustment system works a little bit differently. Before, you had a button that you had to depress. This one here, you just kind of fold it down like that, and then you can slide it back and forth into place. So you get more adjustment, I'd say. And you know, the functionality of this thing works pretty good. It was out of the box, it was a little sticky and a little felt like it was kind of grinding a little bit, but the more I used it, the more it loosened up. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I think it functions great, and I believe this is patented, I think. So yeah, an interesting new concept from St. Martin. I'm a big fan of it. I think it looks really clean. I like the look of this clasp. And I mean, the functionality is there now too. It's nice and thin. It's a great clasp and a great bracelet, and I can't wait to see it on more watches. So yeah, again, overall, just really, really happy with the bracelet and the clasp on this watch. So there you go, guys. Another just banger from St. Martin, SN0129G. Comes in a bunch of different colors. You got really good sapphire crystal, good lume, killer dials. I mean, just look at the dial on this thing. The new bracelet and clasp are just top notch. I mean, you're not getting this on any other watch under $500, I think. So yeah, the bracelets on these watches are excellent. The case finishing is also just top notch for this price point. It's going to be hard to beat a watch when you're looking at it like this. I mean, it is a somewhat original design as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just a banger from St. Martin. I can see why the SN129 has been such a good seller for him, because it's just, I'm going to say it's pretty darn close to a perfect go anywhere, do anything watch for not a lot of money. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.